Sup, mystery lovers and gaming nerds. This is a compilation of all of the lore from the video game Meridian 157. Included will be all of the notebook pages, all of the script reading, as well as the videos of that if you want to read along yourself. So, without further delay, I am Mulbre, the Cryptid Slime, and this is the lore of Meridian 157. Ugh, rough sleep. Power's off again. Storm must be blowing through. Welcome to Meridian 157. Would you like a quick tutorial to show how things work? Sure. The back arrow takes you to the previous scene. Tap anywhere to continue. Oh, I assume it just wants us to push the back arrow. Okay. Too dark to see. I should get the power back on first. Alright, so we'll just keep backing up here a little bit. Oh, there's our bed. I should grab my things before leaving. I assume that's our bag here. Maybe a camera. I'll click on the satchel, and the camera will allow you to take pictures of various scenes. Use hints if you ever get stuck on something. Oh, I see a little sparking here. Fuse box looks blown, but it's too high to reach. The beach! We gotta. Alright, we can use our Jeep. We can just back the Jeep up to the fuse box. It's too dark inside. Car's locked. Must have left the key. What do you mean, must have left the keys somewhere? Can we go to the beach? Oh, okay, going to the beach definitely got us somewhere. Keys! The keys to my car. I should focus on getting the power back online. Alright, we got a screwdriver out of the Jeep. We could turn the car on. Oh, hey, that's gonna make it brighter inside. Oh my gosh. Now we can get into the tool shed. A filled jerry can. A ladder. Not sure how useful a tire, cement bags, or an old chair would be right now. Well, I mean, in lieu of a ladder, could just use a chair. Alright, so we got our power back on. What does our computer say? Anomaly detected. Strange, an anomaly was detected on this remote island. I should check it out. Bunch of latitude, bunch of longitude. That must be the 157th meridian right there. Temperature 7 Celsius. Celsius to Fahrenheit. I don't know. I mean, it's cold, I guess. it's a mid temperature. There's an electromagnetic storm. It's mountainous. Sovereign is unknown. We have a boat license. Strange weather patterns. Saturday, September 24th, 2016. So this is 2 years prior to what the calendar is showing. A string of abnormal weather patterns have been reported on the western coast of the United States and Canada, extending up to southern Alaska over the past few months. According to local weather stations, a number of severe thunderstorms, referred to meteorologist James Hugh as supercells, have been reported to appear on seemingly clear and sunny days. These types of thunderstorms are most common in grassland and prairie environments, James describes. While they do happen on occasion in oceanic climates, the suddenness and aggressive nature of those storms, I'm assuming that word is recently? The aggressive nature of these storms recently, ... While these patterns haven't been classified as a public threat by various weather associations, an alert has been placed on these occurrences. If the intensity of these storms continues to increase, some weather experts predict that the evacuation of numerous coastal cities may be required to ensure public safety. I don't know where I'm supposed to be going. What do you mean you don't know? Oh, here we go. Oh, I gotta write that down myself. Coordinates have been set. $11. Yeah, that's a long. That's over 400 kilometers. Oh, can we pick up? Can we get? Oh, we got the rope. So we've made it to this island. We now have a fancy door here, but like I want to hit things with the scuba can. This drawbridge looks like it hasn't been moved for a while. There must be a way to lower it. A rope? A scuba can. You know, for our particular profession, we're being awfully familiar with just letting ourselves onto an island after detecting an anomaly when it hasn't actually told us like specifically what the anomaly was, other than like weird weather patterns. And then we're just kind of like letting ourselves in. Drawbridge control panel. A crank. Yay, we can cross the spooky drawbridge. An old hose. So we'll need that for the oil drum. Ooh, nothing like a slightly broken rickety ladder. What is this? We have a grapple hook. Could be useful, but I'll need another part to make it work. You mean like a rope? Because the hoarder in me. Alright, we got a lot of reading. November 20th, 2006. So 12 years prior to our calendar date. This is Captain Harold of the Ironwood Ace. Our ship was caught in a violent storm, causing it to tip over and sink to the depths of the ocean. I managed to grab onto a piece of the wreckage as the ship was torn apart. I don't know how long I was out at sea, but as I lay on what remained of my ship, drifting into obscurity, I caught sight of land in the distance. Fighting against the North Pacific current, I landed in this place, this island that I now call home. From what I can see in the distance, this place bears civilization, and so I am hopeful to encounter this island's inhabitants once I gather my strength. As of now, it appears that none of the crew have survived. November 29th, 2006, so 9 days later. There is still no sign of the crew. I think I can assume that the worst has happened. I've explored the settlements, but it appears that everyone that once lived here are gone. I don't mean that they packed up and left, but it's almost as if they vanished into thin air. Food and supplies were left behind. Equipment was abandoned. I even found a set dinner table with food ready for serving. I don't know why all these things were left here, but I now have enough food and shelter to survive for months. Hopefully it won't come to that. And there was a lot crossed out here. Probably misspelled words. It looks like we can't turn the pages. So December 18th, 2006, so we've gone into the next month. Rescue still hasn't shown, and after this much time, I suspect they have given up their search. Although there is no sign of life on this island, I still get the impression that I'm not alone. Every now and then I catch glimpses of figures, black as if made of shadows, stalking the forests at night. I think my eyes are deceiving me, likely brought on by my ill being. I can faintly hear them whisper. However, what they speak is too silent to be understood. The worst part of the situation is the dead silence that follows when the shadows leave. The silence that seems to encompass this island in its entirety. Absolute silence in nature isn't normal. April 2nd, 2007. So we've gone into the next year. January, February, March. So we've gone like 4 months. The whispers are louder now, and I can make out what they are saying. They say, "Watch the sky," over and over and over again. I don't know what they meant at first, but I found this treehouse with this old telescope inside. I'm no astronomer, but I managed to get it working and looked up into the night sky to find nothing. I don't mean nothing unusual, I mean nothing. As in no stars, no moon, even if no clouds are in sight. Now that I think about it, even the sunlight seems to be getting dimmer, as if the sun is distancing itself from the earth. I have no idea what is happening, but I know one thing for certain. I need to get off this island. Ooh, our page has got a little weird here. I don't know how much time has passed. Years have likely gone by, but I can't tell since day and night look the same. All I see is an endless void when I look to the sky. A blanket of darkness is enveloping this island, snuffing out any light that remains. Either I've completely lost my mind, or I'm no longer in the same place I was born into. God help me. This guy must have gone completely insane. Oh, the lighthouse! Something's blocking from the... What about the grappling hook? Oh. Are we're just gonna go scuba diving? I am afeared of the water, though. Flare. Well, I'm taking that flashlight. It's mine now. Oh no. They really are gonna make us put on a wetsuit. I don't want to. Oh. Oh god, I don't want to. Oh, spooky. I would rather do this than go swimming again. I'm gonna be real here. Oh, how far are we going? That's like the fourth line, the fourth light. Oh, shoot. To be continued. We'll come into here. I need to get this brush, but I will read all of this to you guys. Staff protocol. Overview of document. Given that FLARE, Facility Lambda, Anomalous Research Experiments, specializes in the study of highly confidential and critical material, stringent rules have been put in place to ensure that the highly classified nature of this project remains completely confidential. Please familiarize yourself with this document and understand that by being involved with this project, you are hereby obligated to comply with the guidelines presented below. 1.1 Electrical Outage Section. This facility consists of primary and secondary power units. In case of a power outage, the secondary generator will activate and provide functionality to the following services: main lighting system, ventilation, most other unspecified electronic systems such as electronically locked doors, and culinary appliances. These services are not available while primary power is offline. Elevator, computer and network grid, pumping and water drainage, all devices in the machine room, transportation system. In addition to fixing the primary power, you must also reset the mechanical console in the machine room to get the elevator back online. Hazardous incidents. Upon a hazardous incident, including but not limited to chemical spills, radiation poisoning, biohazard, and fires, personnel are required to report immediately to their respective division sectors. 1.2 Hazardous incidents. Upon a hazardous incident, including but not limited to chemical spills, radiation poisoning, biohazard, and fires, personnel are required to report immediately to their respective division superiors. Infectious personnel must be placed in quarantine within Sector C as to ensure the public safety of this facility. If possible, medical assistance will be provided to the personnel in question. Important. If the incident is designated a Class 4 or above, all personnel must immediately report to the Transportation District for immediate evacuation of the island. Class 5 incidents must be reported to the federal government. Any further courses of action will be determined there. 1.3 Non-disclosure. All personnel working at FLARE are prohibited to disclose any information to anyone unaffiliated with this program. Failure to abide by the rules described in this document will result in the immediate termination of your position and criminal prosecution by the federal government on the grounds of treason. Thank you for your understanding, management. The first time I read this, what got me was infectious personnel must be placed in quarantine. And so you're like, oh, it's the anomalous research. So it's kind of like, okay, what are they infected with? Okay, so we just need to take pictures of, of these files because we'll need that. So yeah, we'll just move on from there. We need that extension cord. And now we're into the residence area. And from here, the vent grate is fastened tightly in place. All right, we'll need this. But we will take our handy dandy key and we're going to go back to the fridge. I like the mixed matched graphics where when you're zoomed out, it shows the fridge is being open, but when you zoom in, it's locked. And we get ourselves a cue ball disguised as an egg. Now, one thing is we need to get water from here because the faucet in the kitchen doesn't work either. So we have a wrench, the hacksaw stuck, and the vice clamp handle is missing. Okay, so we did get a wrench though. I do know we needed one of those somewhere. It was like opening the grate on the vent, I think. A fan blade could be useful. Picked up a timing belt. Wasn't of much use there anyways. Picked up a pot of DIY fuel. So we'll pour that in there. Good, there was enough fuel to fill the tank to the top. All right, so power's on. Status is green. Sandy W. Ooh, we got a lot of reading. Okay, March 21st, 1995. It's been a long journey, but I finally arrived at this facility after waiting around in Alaska for a while. I'm really excited to start my career in this facility, although I'm unclear as to what sort of research is done here. I keep thinking back to how I was hired in the first place. My physics professor approached me and convincing me for an experience that, as he put it, is an opportunity of a lifetime. I'm guessing, redacted, that this place is similar to a top-secret military base, although even more secretive because nobody knows of this place's existence in the first place. Hopefully, no one will storm this place anytime soon. March 22nd, 1995, so the very next day, I've gotten to know the other two fresh recruits, Simon and Aaron. They're nice enough, but mostly keep to themselves. Apparently, we have to go through orientation before heading over to the main facility, which I found out is simply called Lambda. Hopefully this won't take too long. I'm anxious to convene with my professor and start my research. March 25th, 1995, so 3 days later. My manager has briefed me about what I will be doing here, and although I don't have nearly enough time to explain everything in detail here, let me just say that it has the potential to turn the scientific community on its head. As he was explaining, I thought he was joking. So, like, we're still talking about, like, this weird research facility. As his words sounded more like an expert from a science fiction novel and less like studies from a research experiment, needless to say, I can't wait to see these experiments with my own eyes, although I'm confused as to why I was approached for this position in the first place. Not that I'm unintelligent, but I certainly wasn't the brightest student in my class. You know, sometimes they just need people who can keep secrets. March 27th, 1995, so 2 days later. My manager tells me the admission process is almost complete. I finished orientation today. Most of it went over the basic stuff about safety in a workplace environment and all that. They do have some strange rules about Lambda, though. Here are some oddities they mentioned. Under no circumstance will you leave your residence quarters between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. If an evacuation order is given between these times, wait to hear from your manager for further instructions. It is prohibited to make any noise louder than 80 dB. This includes, but is not limited to, music, conversation, and entertainment sounds. All personnel must undergo a mandatory psychological evaluation every 2 weeks. If deemed mentally unstable, the subject must leave facility Lambda until it is deemed safe for them to return. I don't know if I'm just being paranoid, but some of these rules sound very unusual. To me, they sound like she was the experiment. It sounds like the students that were hired were the experiment. March 28th, 1995, so the very next day. Well, I've been authorized for entry into Lambda. I'm a little apprehensive now that I've gone through orientation, but I've already signed the non-disclosure agreement, so I guess there's no going back now. A magnet? What am I going to do with a magnet? Oh, the magnet down into the... Okay. This thing. A metal handle. Okay, that's right. It was the vise. So now we get the hacksaw. Oh, you know what? The ladder. What if we can take the... Okay. Picked up the bunk bed ladder. So we hacked off the ladder. Okay, ladder doesn't go there. This one? The vent's too high to reach. Well, that's dark and spooky. That's dark and spooky. Good thing I'm thin enough to squeeze through. Okay, this is dark and spooky. Okay, so this takes us here. Ooh. And this takes us here. A battery. Can I pick that? Oh, I got a crowbar. I got a crowbar. Uh-oh. Oh gosh. Unappreciated. Unappreciated. Because we still don't have the code. Oh, the computer's on. Error. File is encrypted. Please use disk to decrypt. Planets JPEG. Wildly not to scale. Okay, from management about security changes. From management, new staff needed. From management to department heads, subject security changes. Due to the possible security breach that happened last week, we have taken measures to upgrade the security system of this facility. Specifically, we have strengthened the network firewall of all computers connected to the Flare grid and imposed a weekly password change to all critical locations. As a result, the password for the machine room has been changed to 51413 and will be updated exactly 1 week from now. Okay, so we do need that code. 51413. Please direct any inquiries to the Security Director, Ted. Signed, Management. From Management to Professor White. Subject, new staff needed. We are in need of new recruits for the positions outlined below. Don't forget to hire students that are in the top of your class, but who also don't appear to have close family or many personal connections. For this, you may have to familiarize yourself with them beforehand. Here are the positions we need. Mechanical or structural engineer, researcher in physics, preferably particle or nuclear physics, a lab technician. We presume this won't be an issue for someone in your position. So that would explain why they picked her. Is because even though she wasn't top of the class, she may not have had family. The elevator's working. We're moving down. We are moving further down. So we have a view of the sky anomaly, deep sea trench, route to Alaska, coastal reef. There's a trail here. Lighthouse transport. Okay, so this is where we were earlier. Sector A, B, main facility. Okay. So now we have a key, a jack, and a gear. Well, I guess we can jack open the door. Okay. Firebox. So I imagine we need to get those hot coals and put them into here. A fire extinguisher. There was enough coals to fill the furnace. Yeah, but now the coals are cold. We need them to be hot. We're moving! Oh my gosh. Ooh, picking up a little bit of speed. Of course, it's a good idea to like absolutely go as quickly as possible. We should definitely go as quickly as possible. And we hit some rocks. Oh, there's some more. Yeah, that's gonna rock our world for a bit. Really explore the space in our brain. Knock us around pretty good. Oh, hey, the person's back. Hi, friend. As one cryptid to another, I offer the olive branch of peace and friendship. To be continued. Previously on Meridian 157. I was like, I'm gonna steal a sneaky bite of my sandwich. Yeah, this is the second game here. Oh yes, the train that we got into. I like our thought process of our character here. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to an island that we definitely weren't invited to, and then we're gonna start touching everything, and then we're gonna get into an elevator, and then we got onto a train. And it's like, my guy, why are we doing this? And I love it, you know, I'm here for it. It's like the rules horror stories, where the only reason the horror stories can happen is because somebody has to break the rules. And that's us, and I'm living for it. How long was I out? Oh my gosh, we slide it. Okay. A medical bandage. I'm not too hurt from the crash, but I don't think I'll use it for now. Use the new build feature to combine items to get... Oh, okay, yeah, because in the previous 2 games there was no sliding. That's why I was like, so okay. Okay, so right off the bat, we've already been introduced to a new element. Down. Let's commit to going further down. The chains are holding the minecart in place. This place must be old if they were still using minecarts to extract ore. So I'm going to assume that at some point we're going to get on that cart. Okay, we are not going to be getting on that cart. That collapse looks pretty serious. I don't think there's any way to get past it. It's locked. That's a fairly sturdy looking door. I'll need a key to get in. Blueprints for some complex piece of machinery. The hook is too far away from the latch to latch onto the trapdoor handle. Okay, so we got a pair of bolt cutters. So we're going to have to go get the chain from the cart. Okay, we are going to go do that real quick because that'll be the easiest to remember. And then we'll go try and solve for the fuel. Might as well reuse this old chain, could come in handy. I was about to be so mad if we got the crowbar and not the chain. I was about to be like, you've got to be kidding me. This chain could work, but I'll need a way to link it together. The stick! Okay, I mean, hear me out. Hear me out. You see what we did with this first link here? Why don't we do that with the second link? Just hear me out. Okay, they want something to put it. There we go. Well, that makes sense. I didn't realize I could pick up the padlock. So we're gonna go back to below. And that should give us the ladder. Oh my gosh. What do we have here? We'll start with the table. Oh, hold on. Let's back out. Okay. So we picked up a see-through desk. And we're going to do some reading. Okay. February 16th, 1954. This is the first in a series of logs documenting the arrival, exploration, and establishment of the uninhabited island located at 51 degrees 06 north, 157 degrees 18 west. The government has contracted us to construct an outpost to monitor military activity in the North Pacific Ocean. Funding has been approved for a 4-year contract, and a team has been assembled to begin construction as soon as possible. We plan to embark for the island in 18 days, provided no obstacles are encountered. March 3rd, 1954. Upon first arrival on the island, we've sent out a team to survey the viability of certain areas, while the remainder of the team works on unloading the equipment and establishing base camp. Due to the secretive nature of this project, we've begun seismic exploration in order to find the most suitable region for underground development. Construction should begin in approximately 15 days in one of these locations. Excavation is underway in November 19th, 1954. Excavation is underway in the northern region of the island. We're on track to finish excavation by September 1958. So, 4 years, after which we will begin constructing the foundation of the institution. Although the project has overall gone well so far, a number of workers operating in the inner mine have fallen ill and have been forced to stop working temporarily. The government has denied any requests for evacuation, sourcing the importance of the mission as their reason for denial. As we have no permanent medical center, we've set up a provisional infirmary in the inner mine to house the afflicted. Excavation will continue as normal. However, stricter measures will be put in place to better monitor the workers. So maybe that gas we were seeing. So that was March 3rd to November 19th. So we went from spring all the way to winter. December 2nd. So a month later, more workers have been afflicted and have been isolated in the inner mine. I've communicated the severity of the situation to the mainland, and they've agreed to evacuate us from here. Hopefully, they'll get here soon. So, they start digging, people are getting sick, the government won't let them leave, more people are getting sick, and now they've supposedly agreed. December 19th. 17 days later, everyone else has turned. I had to collapse the inner mine and trap everyone inside for my own safety. They've sealed the entrance of the mine. I now realize that evacuation was never on the table. I'm starting to see things I know aren't possible. I fear it's only a matter of time before I turn as well. Okay, that's a strong development. So people are turning, and like I thought, the evacuation was a lie. The cake, the evacuation, it was all a lie. That's the last entry. The rest of the pages are all blank. Okay. Looks like some alcohol. I'm assuming this is where the person kind of hold themselves up for the last moment. Their faces have all been scratched out. These must be some of the miners who used to work here. Why are their faces scratched out? Interesting. It's letting me put the stick down, and then it lets me pick it back up. Oh, that's where I got the sparks from. Well, okay then. I should find some light first. I might hurt myself if I start rummaging through the darkness. Okay. The window to that side room's been shattered. So the spotlight's only powerful enough to shine through the clean part of the window. A spray bottle with cleaning solution. A bucket! Why did the excavation suddenly stop? Ooh, we got a puzzle. Can we go inside? A set of keys. I don't think this will be working anytime soon. a strong magnet. What do we have? Flare Tunnels Section 5. So Section 6, Mines 4, we have a legend. It's a map of this section of the tunnel. Well, I guess we'll take a picture of it, because why not? Flare Construction Corp. Tunnel Section 5 Progress Report. Okay. Date August 5th. Progress 0. Tunnel Section 4 finished. Construction on Tunnel Section 5 of 7 is underway. August 10th. Additional recruits arrived from mainland to start working on new tunnel section. October 10th. We're now up to 15%. 34 meters of passage has been excavated so far, starting construction on bridge over crevasse. Max crevasse depth has been determined to be 29 meters. Okay, so it's pretty deep, but not too bad. November 22nd, 24%. Bridge construction completed. February 1st, 1997, so we've moved into the next year. 102 meters of passage has been... Sorry, let me try that again. 102 meters of passage has been excavated past the bridge. Total length of Section 5 is 136 meters. Target goal of 230 meters will be achieved by early May. February 9th, 1997, 48%. So there was a huge jump in progress between November and February, but we're slowing back down again. Seismic survey reveals man-made passages approximately 39 meters west and 12 meters below Section 5. Upon revealing discovery of Lambada, they request that we build towards the unexplored passages. I feel like I messed that up. Upon revealing discovery to Lambada, they request that we build towards the unexplored passages and report findings back to them. Construction of Section 5 has been temporarily halted to work on side passage. February 25th, so 3 of these have been updates within the same month. No new progress. Successfully linked tunnel to side passages, which resemble abandoned mine shafts from approximately 4 decades ago. During excavation, however, a large gas chamber was disrupted, which caused part of the mines to fill with toxic gas. Waiting for instructions from Hazardous Waste Management on how to proceed. April 29th. So it's been over a month, almost 2 months. Same percentage, 48%. Code 10 was received due to an unnamed incident from Lambada. Immediate evacuation of all personnel underway. So they have a report of evacuation, but we know that that wasn't going to happen. It could have for them, but for everyone else it wasn't happening. There we go. Dang it, I still can't crowbar. Oh my gosh, we're getting into like some really sewage looking. I won't be able to get through there. Can I just say gross? Like, is that an option? Getting across this could be a challenge. Beautiful. So I think we just flooded it with water. Drain valve 2. Okay. That is exactly what we did. Greenery, guys! Oh my gosh, I can feel that fresh air. I can feel it coming through the screen. Oh, we got the beautiful water graphics too. That's not going to do anything. Whoever lived here made sure to lock up before they left. That's a little concerning. It used up our key. That bed is looking quite tempting. I think it would be best if I get some sleep. Ooh, nap time. I had to take a nap earlier too. Okay, so this is our base from the first game. Was that all just a long, vivid dream? Oh, I clicked on the mirror. Oh. Oh, our hand's all messed up. Yeah, my guy, that scared me too. What a terrible dream. The atmosphere of this place must be getting to me. Ooh, lockpick. Alright, you guys ready for a lot of reading? April 29th, 1997. So this is after the first year of the digging project. I don't have much time to write this, but this may be my last chance to reveal the sinister truth behind Flare. My name is William Dines. I am a senior scientist stationed at the main facility. 2 years ago, I was assigned to the Flare project with the purpose of studying the Northern Pacific anomaly. I was promised that this project was for the advancement of scientific knowledge. However, it wasn't until last week that I uncovered the truth. We've actually gotten 2 different stories here. One was military observation and the Northern Pacific anomaly, which the anomaly has been mentioned twice, I believe, as by somebody who knew that it was the anomaly. To prevent this entry from resembling the ravings of a madman, I'll just say that a weapon is being studied and harnessed, a weapon that no single power should possess. My conscience dictates that I must stop this by any means necessary, which is why my colleague Desmond and I have taken action against Flare management, with hopes to put an end to this facility. Our intentions wouldn't go unnoticed for long, however, and we were locked up in Sector C under the pretense that we had been infected by a malicious pathogen. Knowing our end was likely near, we were saved by an incident at Lambada, an incident our captors refer to as the breach. Our captors left for Lambada, leaving Desmond and I locked up alone in Sector C. Not long after, the island-wide alarm system was triggered, signifying an emergency at Lambada, but also unlocking the blast doors that were preventing our escape. We fled into the night and are hiding until morning, where we will keep moving as far away from Lambada as we can, provided we can evade capture. We hope to alert mainland authorities to the dire situation, as nobody here can be trusted. Alright, so if we look at the writing, it's very neat, very distinct. But they were captured, then there was a breach. But the reason I brought up the writing is because it's the same writing style, but if you compare the two, this one's bigger, it's looser, it's not as neat. May 2nd, 1997. So far, there's been no sign of anyone pursuing us. Either they've given up trying, or there's no one left to search. Finding food and shelter has now turned into our first priority. As winter is approaching quickly and the weather has been known to be erratic, we've set up a small encampment close to a small pond that we use to catch fish, as the lack of land animals makes it difficult to hunt larger game. Contact with the mainland has proven futile, and thus our hopes of rescue dwindle. As such, we found a suitable location for a permanent settlement close to fresh water and hope to finish building before winter arrives. So that was the pictures that we saw. It was showing us where the camp was and where to dig. November 12th, 1997. So we're into winter now. Although why they didn't stay in these houses is confusing. It's been a while since my last entry. I didn't have much time to write as we've both been busy. We've finished building the cabin and it's held up well so far during the winter months. Oh, maybe these were the cabins that they were building. Thanks to the pond nearby, we have no shortage of food and fresh water. As there's not much left to do around here, we ventured deeper into the island to look for anything that might be of use, and stumbled upon ruins of an old building well past the pond. We plan to salvage any supplies we might find there over the next few days. November 14th, so 2 days after. Desmond is missing. We went to salvage the ruins we discovered a couple of days ago, and he stumbled and broke his leg after falling into a cellar. Breaking my promise of never returning to Sector C, I went back to find something to help him walk. Upon returning to the ruins, I found him missing from the cellar, with no trace as to where he could have gone. I don't know what madness possessed him to flee into the forest with a broken leg, but he couldn't have gone far. I plan on looking for him into the night. He likely won't survive for long, as the temperature is dropping drastically. I don't know if I will make it back. But if anyone reads this, I implore you, leave this place and never tell another soul of its existence. I now realize that the truth of this island is much deeper than I could have imagined. It's best if this place remains forgotten. That's the last entry. The rest of the pages are blank. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to check the water again. Just going to check this area. Won't be needing anything else since it's frozen over. Yeah. Alright, I just wanted to check this. Long way down, I can hardly see the bottom of the crevice. I can... Oh my gosh. There we go. Alright, and I'm going to assume the gondola barely made it across once. I'd be foolish to risk it again. So we are done with that area. We are moving on. Looks like one of the light boxes used to examine x-ray scans. And there's a tic-tac-toe board. Or a pound sign. Or a hash mark. Agent transmissibility. Exponential growth. Traditional growth of infectious agents characterized by rapid spread of a contagion to many vectors. Complete isolation of contagion is sufficient in stopping the spread. Anomalous growth. Spread seen from anomaly events, unlike any traditional contagion. Agent follows a single chain of hosts, spreading to only one additional host when original host has been depleted. Most closely resembles parasitic transmission. Isolation areas, Sector C, seem to have little effect. Proceed with great caution. Caution. A hospital bed for accommodating medical patients. A fake plant and some empty bottles. Nothing useful. I wonder if it ever got hot enough in this place to use the fan. The clock has stopped working. Nothing in the glove compartment. Better try and open the garage door before starting the car. Now we get to go for a bit of a drive. Ooh, my tracking is going crazy. Oh, that is nice. I wish I could go driving. Although, our guy here doesn't have the best of history with moving objects. He always crashes them. So that was our 6-kilometer drive. Oh. That's broken outwards. That would definitely be a breach. Lambada, you are messed up. To be concluded. Oh yes, we woke up on our desk. We got the anomaly detected. Took off there all gung-ho, ready to go. Ah yes, and then we started encountering the people. The shadow people. The anomalous people. And I love our character. We invite ourselves in, we go down an elevator, we get on a train. Like, we just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. And we're touching everything. Like, we've read several notes at this point that told us that there were anomalies and people were getting sick and people were getting trapped and people were stranded, people were getting locked up. And then we're undoing everything. All of the locks and the puzzles and the hidden objects that were designed to keep whatever was stuck on this island, like, continued to be stuck on the island. And we're just undoing all of it. And it's great, you know? It's like finding our own mystery, our own gossip. And I am living for it. Lights aren't working. Can't see a thing up ahead. That works. The door's locked. This is a large room. Big glowing furnace. Can we click on that? No, it's probably just light from the... No, it's probably just one of these lights. A truck with the wheels taken off. Oh, that's gonna be a shocking experience. But hey, there's the tire lug nut thing that we need. I'll need to find a way to traverse the water safely before exploring this room. Another desk. We like snooping around a nice desk. Incident report. Department and personnel. Department, exploration/excavation. Supervisor, Scott Atkin. Injuries/casualties, none. Incident information. Location, abandoned mines from Cold War. Oh, that's a development. Date and time, April 3rd, 1997 at 2:09 p.m. Incident type, structural collapse. Description, while transporting the fragment from the mines into the laboratories for further research, the sample experienced a brief surge of energy. The sudden rise in power levels, which may have been very low up until this point, caused a momentary lapse in the containment field, resulting in a structural collapse of the nearby mine shaft. Due to all personnel wearing protective equipment and following all security precautions, no injuries or fatalities ensued. However, mass destruction resulted to the above rail system. The fragment, also buried under the fallen rubble, however, was left undamaged after being uncovered from the debris. So this is from the people who knew what this facility was for, because in the previous game, we encountered people who didn't know what the facility was for. Like, some people thought it was a military observation branch. Some people thought it was for anomalous research. Some people had they discovered the true purpose of the research facility and ended up getting abandoned on the island. The explosion is what resulted in us falling through the ground. Okay, so these people knew what the facility was for. Additional measures. Until further notice, rail transport between the northern station and Lambada is strictly prohibited, as the north station is in an auxiliary establishment. Reconstruction of the railway will commence at a later date. A reminder will be sent out to all personnel informing them of this incident. Well, that would have been nice to know. The room's been flooded. The water's not too deep, though. Okay, now it'll just let me click on things. Picked up a lug wrench. Anything else? Can we go? The water's being electrified by that fuse box. I need to be careful. Okay, so as soon as we picked up the lug wrench, it took away our booties. Unfortunate. Spooky. Actually, real quick, I want to see, can I click on this? Facilia Lambada. Level 1 floor map. Maine. April 29th, 1997. I guess I have nothing better to do in here than to write this down. I was working late into the night, just after starting my night shift, when I heard a deep rumbling sound, starting out quietly before quickly getting louder. Based on how loud it became, I wouldn't be surprised if it was heard all around the island. Soon after, the commotion started outside and people were rushing around in a panic, as soldiers shouted that an immediate evacuation was ordered and that everyone was to make their way back outside towards the designated evacuation area. Making my way out of the facility, I noticed a crowd gathered around the main entrance. Before I asked what was going on, I noticed the main bulkhead door was closed, and every attempt to open it by the surrounding workers was in vain. That's when I heard a woman start screaming, and everyone in the crowd fell into mass hysteria. I ran back into this office along with 3 others, and managed to barricade the door. I'm stuck in here now, waiting for anyone to rescue us. And I hard underlined anyone. So we've got 1 day between these notes, April 30th, 1997. After things seemed to have settled down in the hallways, I got to know the other 3 people stuck in here with me. Although all 4 of us are new here and haven't stepped foot in the restricted part of this facility, one of the others mentioned that they heard the soldiers refer to what happened as a breach, with breach being circled. However, all of the chaos happened soon after, and he wasn't able to hear much more than that. What could they mean by that? Although everything's gone eerily silent, I can occasionally hear faint sounds out in the hallways. Along with occasional shuffling, I can also make out other, more unsettling noises. I think I'll refrain from calling out to them. May 1st, 1997. One of the guys trapped in here, Aaron, has begun complaining of hearing faint whispers coming from outside. Although we tried keeping him calm, he finally snapped. He locked the dumbwaiter access and tore the wire to the control panel, stating that he needed to permanently lock it out of fear of something crawling down the shaft from the mess hall. We then restrained him after he started yelling uncontrollably. The mood here has become much more hostile over the past couple days. The other 2 scoff at me for writing this down, but I don't care anymore. My mind keeps wandering back to Lily and what she told me before I left. Although she believed I was going to France as part of a new government initiative, she always told me that she had a very bad feeling about this new position and that I shouldn't accept it. Why didn't I listen to her? May 2nd, 1997. So these are all day successions from each other. After being awake for 3 full days, my exhaustion got the best of me and I dozed off. I've awakened to find myself all alone in here. The others have all vanished. I now hear the whispers that Aaron referred to. I just hadn't listened closely enough for the first time. I hear them relentlessly now. There is a wall of darkness on the far side of the office that, while it frightened me at first, now fills me with comfort the longer I stare at it. It is slowly approaching me, and I can't help but wonder what will happen if I enter. Somehow, I feel the embrace of death isn't what awaits me on the other side. And so, slowly, her writing is, drifting off the lines, and at the very end, there's what appears to be, hand marks sliding, fingerprints sliding down the page. That is weird. It's creepy. That's going to be the last entry. So we never got her name, but we did get a friend's name, Lily. Okay, I think we got the last one. Heck yeah. The staircase leading down collapsed entirely. Going down won't be an option. So we're on the second floor now. Ooh, a hole. Okay, we're not going that way. I mean, we could go get the ladder. There must be something around here that can fit in this slot. Some storage boxes. This room must serve as a supply room. This padlock still looks to be in good shape. I'll need a key to unlock it. So we need 2 keys. Elevator, office room, stairwell, storage, mess hall, locker room, residence 1, 2, and 3, and a washroom. We have 2 spots that wanted a key. Alright, it was for the padlock. We've got a pair of locking pliers. So I'm going to assume the locking pliers are for the kitchen door. Ooh, look at us go. Look at us fit through that door. A long wooden beam. Another long wooden beam. The shelves are filled with canned food and sacks of grain. Better not, I'm on a diet. These crates contain what at one point might have been considered edible. Okay, that's one way to get there. Are they going to let us look down? Tread carefully, one misstep could spell my end. Oh, we got an unlocked office. Oh, thank goodness. We got another coin. Oh, that's a lot of reading. This pamphlet indicates some general information about this place. Brief history. Throughout the 1960s, various reports emerged of fishermen disappearing off the southern coast of Alaska. After a quick expedition into the surrounding waters, the Flare Project was established in 1971 following the discovery of a small, unnamed island with unusual properties. Construction of the Flare facility commenced in the same year, and after its completion in 1975, research into these anomalous properties was soon underway. The source of the anomaly was discovered deep underground, approximately 230 meters beneath the surface, and roughly in the island's geographic center. Labeled as the artifact, not much is known about its origin. However, it is theorized that it originates from outer space based on multiple reports of a bright red meteor that struck down in what is believed to be the island's general location in 1865. Research and experimentation was initially focused on the containment of the artifact, however later on shifted to how to utilize its unique properties. So I'm assuming the artifact they're talking about is the thing that blew up the rail system. Facility features. The Flare facility is perhaps the most complex scientific research station on the planet. In addition to the most advanced scientific and engineering equipment, the facility also benefits from the largest geothermal plant in the world, powering all stations around the island and allowing for fully self-sufficient operations. That explains why we have electricity. Complex underground rail system to transport goods and personnel all around the island quickly and safely. Large dedicated team of scientists and engineers in collaboration with a classified branch of the military to provide the most sophisticated research. Experimentation and security available. Security is the highest concern at Flare. The continuation of the project depends on its confidentiality, and therefore rigorous protocols are put in place to ensure it remains as such. Strict screening and psychological testing is routinely conducted on all personnel to confirm their loyalty and credibility to the project. Perhaps the biggest testament to Flare's effective security operations was its ability to remove this island from most world maps through substantial international effort. So the irony of this is it's like strict screening. One of the journals and documents stated that they were specifically looking for people who had no real connections. Like nobody that would miss them, nobody that would ask questions. They weren't even looking for the best and the brightest. They just wanted people who could disappear. Departments. FLAIR incorporates many departments, all of which provide vital contributions to this project. Each department benefits from a vast array of qualified personnel from all backgrounds, who together manage all of the operations carried around the island. Below is a list of department heads and key staff members. Frank Zimmerman, Chief Overseer. Dr. Cindy Chandler, Head of Biology. Dr. Eddie Copeland, Head of Chemistry. Dr. Wilson Bishop, Head of Physics. Matthew Hitchens, Head of Engineering. Sasha Baranov, Head of Technology. Dr. Carson Reed, Chief Physician. Dr. Olivia Holland, Chief Psychologist. Bill Fisher, Construction Overseer. Sean Tucker, Excavation Overseer. Scott Atkin, Exploration Overseer. Terrence Miller, Military General. We look forward to having you on board and are sure you will achieve great things here at the FLAIR Project. 1705. It's not yelling at Yay! So you got dice, pop, inventory, and emails. Let's go with the images. So you have a board game showing a really messed up pair of dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They both show 6. That is freaky. Oh, facility population. We'll take a picture of this too. Inventory. Perishable: poultry, beef, fish, bread, milk, cheese, and eggs. Non-perishable: rice, coffee, oatmeal, canned soup, canned beans, cereal, and sugar. I mean, they got quite a good inventory. Emails. Recovered emails. Patient transfer request from Dr. Carson, January 5th, 1997. From Dr. Carson to Frank Zimmerman. Subject: patient transfer request. The status of patient Keith Hoffman has deteriorated further over the past 72 hours. The physical symptoms described on Monday have all worsened, and all of our medical procedures have proven ineffective. In addition, the patient has begun developing severe psychological trauma in response to his brief exposure to the artifact, claiming that a being with red eyes watches and whispers to him out of the corner of his vision. So, very much similar symptoms to kind of what everybody gets. Whistleblowers. From Wilson Bishop to management, April 8th. So, same year, but like several months later. Subject: whistleblowers. As requested, I obtained proof that 2 of my subordinates, William and Desmond, have caught on to our shift towards weaponizing the artifact, and they are indeed planning on revealing everything they know to the public when they return back to the mainland in 6 months. How should I proceed with handling them? Wilson Bishop, Head of Physics. So those are the 2 guys that built those cabins out there and were they were literally left behind on the island. Picked up an old keycard reader. Fancy. A transport cart with various boxes and crates to be used around the facility. Oh, we're going down. I don't like that. Oh, I guess that's right. Laboratory was level 0. There's some items I won't be needing going forward. I'll leave them here for now. My hoard! My inventory! Those are mine! Okay, well, we're obviously not ready for that. Oh, there's a car down here. With a panel? Oh, it's got a battery, but it's screwed shut. A shuttle car, presumably used to transport supplies around the facility. They actually do use something, probably this exact car, when working in the mines and stuff. I doubt they'd do that to us. So you have Section 1 directory. Laboratories, chemical storage, server room, auditorium, medical wing. Addendum. Addendum. Adding at the end. Due to recent incidents in Section 1, the doors to the medical wing have been disconnected from the remote locking network. The gates must be physically locked by chain at all times when the medical center is not in use. Okay. Yeah, so whatever this word is that I'm having difficulties pronounce, it basically means a change that was made. Section 2 directory. Laboratories 5 through 7, communication center, geothermal station, meeting area, and machine room. With the more additions, 14 additional 10 MW turbines have been installed in the geothermal station to support the increased power consumption of facility Lambada. Communications are being disrupted. More shielding has been built around the communications array to counteract the anomalous rise in energy levels. And we have a number 3 directory. Laboratories, equipment storage, waste management, and military wing. Radiation levels in the Waste Disposal Center are higher than predicted. Maximum personnel exposure has been reduced from 12 hours to 4. Protective equipment must be worn at all times inside this area. Okay, that's interesting. Additional sample has been found inside the newly discovered mines. The storage chambers in Laboratory 8 have been prepped for containment. Based on the information from these pages, I must be getting close to the source of the anomaly. So, we're going to take pictures of these. Like, obviously we can now sweep stuff. And we can hit things from afar. Oh, okay. Okay, so let us click on this area. Oh my gosh. Oh my heckin' gosh. This is what it was for. Oh, thank goodness. I was like, what do we need to clean? I'm not very good at these puzzles because I'm like, violence is the answer. The door's been barricaded. What happened that caused everyone to panic like this? Ooh, a lighter. However, it's empty of fuel. That's unfortunate. Candy wrappers, discarded bottles, and an old newspaper dating back to 1997. Animate versus inanimate. Oh, animate versus inanimate reactivity with the artifact. Date May 5th, 1988. So this predates a lot of the stuff we've been reading. By like almost a little over 10 years, like 11 years. No, 9 years. It's not that important. Departments: Biology, Chemistry, Materials, Engineering. Coordinator: Cindy Chandler. Background: the purpose of this report is to investigate what difference, if any, living versus non-living entities have when reacting with the artifact. So far, all materials have shown no interaction at the current power levels. Some theorize, however improbable it may seem, that entities could react on the sole basis of being alive. Hypothesis: like the material tests conducted beforehand, the animate organisms will display no interaction with the artifact. In other words, the state of being alive should have no effect on the outcome of these tests. Inanimate tests: reaction of various chemicals and materials. Control group: hydrofluoric acid. Besides the normal evaporation when exposed to open air, no additional reaction was observed. No reaction. Acetylene. Testing reactivity of a hydrocarbon. No activity was observed. No reaction. Uranium-235. Radioactive element test. No reaction when brought close to the anomaly. No reaction. Cadmium. Testing reactivity to a heavy metal. No reaction. At this point, almost all metals at our disposal have been tested, none of which have reacted. No reaction. Animate tests. Interactions of living organisms. Experimental group. Spider. Alive. After bringing the spider close to the artifact inside the glass cage returned empty. Subject disappeared. Rat. Alive. Like the spider, the rat also vanished from its metal cage. Subject disappeared. Rat dead. A euthanized rat was tested. This time, like all of the inanimate tests, the rat's body remained in the cage and wasn't affected. No reaction. Conclusion. Needless to say, these results are quite unexpected. The sole fact of being alive seems to affect the way entities interact with the artifact. These tests confirm the need for protective equipment around the artifact, as well as the strong containment field to protect those on the observation deck. The results also have encouraging prospects for the construction of a superweapon. Above all else, these findings emphasize the need for more testing, because while we know that the artifact causes living beings to vanish, why it does so, and why they are vanishing are still unknown. Okay, so it's like, yeah, why are they vanishing and where are they vanishing to? Because then obviously entities are then reappearing. Spooky. We picked up a thing of glucose. We got into the server room. What do we have here? A container of lighter fluid. Oh, we need lighter fluid. Oh my gosh. What is this? Textbooks about computers and signal processing. Not exactly my idea of light reading. It's a blueprint of who knows really. So we have another computer. This computer is actually already on emails. New orders from higher up. From General Miller to management. August 19th, 1987. We've received new orders, which confirms that priority should be focused on weaponizing the artifact and not on utilizing it as a source of power. We've arranged a conference tomorrow at 9 a.m. in the auditorium. Notify all department heads that attendance is mandatory. We'll focus on what steps need to be taken in light of this new direction and discuss the reallocation of resources and/or personnel to different projects if needed. So, a lot of the notes that we've been getting have been 1997. So for about 10 years, they had switched their motivations from earnest, well-meaning power source intentions to weaponizing. Which that is such a human thing to do. Like, no matter where you are in the world, that is just such a human thing that keeps happening. So we have from William D. to Desmond H. Desmond is a name I recognize. It's one of the people who stuck around, who got left behind at the facility. He's one of the people that got locked up. April 12th, 1997. Subject, weird behavior. Have you noticed anything strange about Alan recently? I caught him staring at the artifact multiple times from the observation deck for several minutes at a time, almost as if in a trance. He wouldn't respond to anything I said to him, and I had to physically shake him to snap him out of it. Do you think he's getting affected the same way Keith did? Signed, William Dines, Department of Physics. Okay. So it was entrancing them. What's diagnostics? Server or network status offline. Okay, remote door access offline. Unable to connect to the remote locking network. Check router for problems. That's right, it was this way. Okay, it was section 3. It's pitch black in there. Too bad the glow stick gave it. We have a lighter. Okay, so the lighter's not the solution. Oh, a network card. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we got a projector card. Anything else? I mean, there's some pictures here. So we have this room, 9413. A whole bunch of people working. Seeing how desolate this place is now, it's hard to imagine this facility bustling with people. That's my boat. Is that a picture of my boat? Yeah, that's our boat, guys. That's us. This is recent. This was just developed. Picked up a projector slide. Oh, if we're going to turn the projector on, we might as well have this. Medical report. On-site doctor, Dr. Carson. Patient name, Alan Fletcher. Occupation, senior researcher. I like the little addition of like having to get the ink flowing in the pen. Date of accident, April 29th, 1997. Description. Subject entered through containment field, ignored numerous orders to step back, and approached dangerously close to the artifact. Shortly after, the power levels of the anomaly spiked, causing mass destruction to surrounding area. A witness described him carrying an object with him at the time. What the object was remains unknown. Injuries. At first, injuries resembled severe radiation damage, despite no traces of measurable radiation being emitted from the anomaly. Shortly after, small black patches started materializing in various locations on subject's skin, and are quickly growing in size even as I write this. The cause of the patches aren't known, however they appear pitch black, almost as if they absorb all light. Instructions. Emergency operation has been ordered immediately to surgically remove patches. April 29th. I wonder, I think that lines up with the date of the breach. The skeletal system. Okay, I thought they were cigarettes. Oh. Question mark, question mark. Yeah, that was definitely interesting. This must be the surgery, when the surgery took place. A pair of medical pincers. April 29th, 1997. I achieved the first task set out for me. As instructed, I took the sample from the abandoned mines and brought it near the artifact. Although the smaller fragment had broken off long ago, it reattached itself to the larger piece and merged back together, as if the two pieces had never been separated. What happened next, I can only speculate since I blacked out shortly afterwards. The artifact's power levels must have spiked, causing mass devastation to the surrounding structure and its personnel. An emergency service procedure was ordered to try and save me from my physical injuries, however, was quickly called off following an immediate evacuation order of the entire facility. No matter my physical condition is of no concern in light of the final task set out for me. I locked myself in this room, and the sounds of commotion outside have stopped some time ago. Whether they managed to escape, I don't know, and is frankly of no concern to me. I now see the red-eyed being not just when I close my eyes, but in the real world as well. Whether he's only present in a reflection or standing right next to me, he's always here now, whispering to me. I am honored to be the one chosen to fulfill his final request. Signed, A.F. So, the guy who they tried to do surgery on is the one who wrote this note. And you can tell by like all of the red and stuff that he clearly was not doing well. 'Cause like, interesting. And for somebody who just underwent like surgery or was trying to undergo surgery, he didn't make a whole lot of spelling errors. Like, he did pretty good. But escape is like written really hard, and yeah, that's pretty interesting. Ooh, a key. Found a key. One down, one to go. Yay! I just need one more key. Island of Stability. Region where the artifact is hypothesized to reside. plutonium, uranium. And it shows the half-life, second. Okay. Elemental stability of two common super heavy isotopes in comparison to the artifact. Okay. Flare Project Status Report, November 14th, 1996. Introduction. This report will briefly describe what we know about the artifact as of November 14th, 1996. We provide a hypothesis that closely conforms to our advanced understanding of nuclear and particle physics and explains many of the physical phenomena displayed by the artifact. Modifications to fundamental physical laws may be necessary in light of recent observations. The artifact, a colloquial name for the source of the disturbances on the island, located at 51.13 degrees north and 157.32 degrees west, likely emerged from deep outer space many years ago. While the age isn't exactly known, it's likely fell to Earth as a meteor in 1865, based on numerous eyewitness reports during that year. Since the Flare Project first started measuring the energy emitted from the artifact in 1977, the power levels have been steadily rising. As such, the primary objective of this project has changed over the years. The original objective was first to contain the anomaly, then find out how to utilize the emitting energy. Later on, to turn it into a military weapon, and finally, in response to rising energy levels, shutting it down. So I'm assuming flare, well, it is a acronym, might have also been a clever way of being like, hey, it's a meteor. Current knowledge. As best as we can tell, the artifact is made up of a super heavy element, heavier than any known element that has been synthesized to date. Although the stability of super heavy elements greatly decreases as their atomic number increases, there exists an exception to this rule where elements with atomic numbers between 110 and 120 are predicted to be extremely stable at certain isotopes. See Figure 1. As such, we theorize that the atomic number of this element is anywhere between the range of 110 and 120, considerably heavier than that of uranium used as fuel in nuclear reactors. See atomic number 92. Properties. Many of the unusual properties of the artifact are therefore a result of the super heavy yet stable nature of the element. Here are a list of some of its strangest features. Emissions of radiation via a new theoretical particle that we are only beginning to examine. This new particle appears dark red to the naked eye, despite not being light. Considerable effort went into the development of a device capable of measuring this particle. A large emission of energy that, while rising over a long time period, is very stable in the short term. The source of this seemingly unlimited supply of power isn't known, although there are some theories about where this energy originates. See additional theories section below. Physical objects very rarely interact with the anomaly. At higher power levels, however, such as a brief power surge in 1985, a deep rumbling was felt throughout the facility, suggesting a correlation between physical interaction and energy output. Although physical objects rarely interact with the artifact, living entities always seem to disappear when in close proximity. Where they vanish to is still unknown. So they do all of this, and they're still touching it. Additional theories. The origin of the artifact before falling to Earth isn't known. However, the most agreed upon theory is that it was formed through an extremely high energy event from outer space, such as a supernova or gamma ray burst. This is the most likely postulate, as these high energy events are known to create trace amounts of heavy elements such as uranium. The theory of its creation is an extraterrestrial intelligence has also been discussed at length. Although this theory is the least popular of the two, it hasn't been ruled out as of yet. So either a sun exploded or aliens. As for the source energy emission, it is possible A possible explanation is that the artifact functions as a gateway to another location in space, such as in the popular wormhole theory. This would explain how power is emanating from apparently nowhere. Perhaps this unique radiation isn't emitting from within the anomaly itself, but from elsewhere, and the artifact is simply a doorway funneling energy from this alternate location. This would also explain the disappearances of the living test subjects. However, wouldn't explain why these disappearances are unique to animate entities. I'm loving the lore, don't get me wrong, I'm loving the lore. It's just like, I could totally see people doing this, finding a space rock, being like, ooh, space rock, and then touching it, and then not stopping. Conclusion. These new findings suggest that amendments to the current physical laws must be made in order to explain certain phenomena observed. Our understanding of the artifact is greater than ever, however, there's still much that we don't understand at this moment. Although the potential for good is very high, the potential for destruction is just as high, if not higher. These new findings, in addition to the continual rise in energy levels, further reinforce our need for a safe way to shut down this anomaly. We strongly suggest to management that our focus should shift entirely on shutting down the anomaly rather than weaponizing it. So, whoever wrote the status support at least had the right idea. At least they wanted to shut it down. I'm gonna need it. Ooh. Oh, it's showing somebody smashing the glass. Let's get this. April 29th, 1997. My head is killing me right now, but I feel that it's important to write this down. At around 10 p.m. at night, I was working on some things I wanted to finish before getting to bed. I was alone in the lab at this time when the door behind me opened, and as soon as I turned around to see who was up this late, someone in a hazmat suit was quickly rushing towards me. I staggered backward and asked what was going on, but before he even said a word, he swung a heavy object at me and knocked me out. I awoke sometime later to a soldier shaking me, stating that we were under an emergency evacuation of the island. He said to quickly gather all documents and then to meet at the entrance to Section 1 in no more than a half hour. As I began packing everything up, I noticed that one of the containment chambers was smashed, with what was inside now missing. What concerns me is that this was the chamber that held the fragment that was recently transported here from the mines for further testing. I presume that the man in the hazmat suit knocked me out and stole the fragment from the chamber. Not a very difficult endeavor, considering the fragment is powered off at that moment. What use could he have had for stealing it? Is he responsible for the chaos that is now unfolding? So yes, the guy who underwent that emergency surgery and then failed the surgery because there was a breach, I bet he's the one who stole the fragment. So he's the one who had that hazmat suit. Okay, I had to do it quickly. Go. Should I be worried? I'm like, should I be hiding in the building while this is happening? Or... oh, look at that. Oh, we get to see people running. One person was pointing the wrong direction. Summary of research conducted in March 1997. Date of report, April 2nd, 1997. The latest tests and measurements from March 1997 reinforced our need to find a safe way to shut down the artifact. The average energy levels rose by 1.82% this month alone. My team and I have made strong progress with regards to shutdown protocol, and the effort from the biology, chemistry, and engineering teams have been invaluable in our research. Based on current projections, it is estimated that the anomaly will reach a critical level around the year 2022. While this gives us many years of preparation, powering it down as soon as possible is still in our best interest, as the energy levels have been known to be volatile at times. A critical level will first amount to local devastation of the island, but will ultimately become much more severe if left unchecked. Although what exactly would happen in such a scenario isn't known, a worldwide calamity would likely ensue and cause mass extinction all around the Earth. So hey guys, we survived the anomaly. It didn't explode. While we're scheduled for another shutdown attempt in 2 weeks, I'm requesting to postpone this until after we examine the new fragment that will be transported here tomorrow. Studying it could prove crucial in our attempts in powering down the source, and based on Atkins' description of the sample, might be the key in doing so. I will present these findings in more detail during our monthly conference on April 10th. P.S. Until we study this new fragment, I strongly advise storing this new sample far from the main source. Not much is known about this new element, and it would be sensible to take every precaution that we can. Signed, Dr. Wilson Bishop, Head of Physics. Right up until someone stole it and reattached it. Event timeline. June 6th, 1976, first time online. January 15th, 1977, finished construction of device that can estimate power output of artifact. August 14th, 1978, finished construction of containment field showing strong results at current energy levels. May 5th, 1982, experimentation. So you can kind of see the power over here behind me a little bit there. Energy levels, okay. Ooh, energy levels. Energy levels of the anomaly. The solid green is what's measured. The dots is what's predicted. And this orange line here, I guess, is where we are currently. So it had that spike into the danger zone. And then this is where we are. Latest log file. Date April 29, 1997. Something catastrophic just happened. I was running some tests in Section 3 when I heard a loud rumbling resonate through the hallways. Rushing back to the observation deck, I noticed that the artifact power levels had surged, resulting in severe destruction. Peering out the window, I noticed a group of people in hazmat suits dragging someone across the bridge away from the source. I don't know what happened, but Code 10 has just been issued, and the military is gathering everyone for immediate evacuation of the island. I want to initiate a new shutdown protocol, however. The soldiers say there's no time and that the military will deal with the anomaly. I have an idea of what they mean by that. Okay, so this person actually saw like the initial event happening. But I just wanted to check. Oh, we can't. Okay, we can scroll down. So I'll have to like stitch these together or something. May 5th, 1982. Experimentation now directed towards extracting power from the artifact rather than containing it. November 28th, 1985. Power surge detected in anomaly. Energy levels are still currently within green zone. February 6th, 1987. All tests directed at power extraction have so far failed. August 18, 1987. With support from military, experimentation now directed towards weaponizing the artifact rather than extracting power from it. October 8th, 1991. Minor development achieved in weaponization. September 30th, 1995. Due to the upward trend in energy levels, focus has shifted on shutting down the anomaly. December 5th, 1995. Shutdown attempt number 1 failed. July 16th, 1996. Shutdown attempt 2 failed. January 8th, 1997. Shutdown attempt 3 failed. March 21st, 1997. Shutdown attempt 4 failed. April 20th, 1997. Major development reached in the shutdown protocol. New tests have proven to effectively lower the energy of the artifact. New shutdown attempt will be initiated soon. That was a lot of failures. 4 total over the course of 3 years. Oh, we can actually scroll these as well. Life support low, transportation offline, anomaly status critical. Actually, we check that one. That one doesn't scroll. Initiate shutdown. Ooh, we do have a code. We have a 4-digit code. 6914. Oh, it didn't work. I picked up your remote control. April 30th, 1997. It's been almost a full day since I succeeded in my first task. Looking at the artifact again fills me with a feeling that's difficult to put into words. I think rapture comes close. I realize now what my final task is, to disable an evil device intended to annihilate the source. He tells me this is the last thing I need to do, and that no one else can stop it after I succeed. Before they left, the others referred to the incident as a disaster or calamity, but they are all wrong. Salvation is a more appropriative term. AF. So he must have made his way back to here and wrote this note after the explosion. Or maybe it was prior to the explosion. A remote control. What could I need to remotely control? Oh, it took it! It took it! Shutdown protocol. Last activity was detected 7794 days ago. Manual calibration is required before initiating a new shutdown sequence. Calibrate. Are you sure that you want to initiate a new shutdown sequence? Yes. Shutting down anomaly. Because yes, in 130 days it's going to blow up the earth. We need to be heroes. We need to do what we are meant to do. But it is interesting because we have been seeing like the shadow people flashbacks, but we haven't been experiencing other more manipulative, anomalous activity. Because they were reporting like red eyes and figures looking at them. Nothing's been exactly looking at us. Ooh, we get a cutscene. Ooh, spooky. Oh. What it feels like when you take that first sip of energy drink. Well, we can move again. Oh, we gotta slide to unlock. Click on the door, see what happens. Okay, a little bit, maybe it's a scanner of some sort. Maybe we don't care about the scanner. that was good. Okay, that was good. The lore build up, the start, the end. I like that. The puzzles, excellent. I had to use a few hints, which is, only to say just, how good some of these puzzles were, that they created so many different types, ranging from ones that I was able to solve super, super quickly to ones that it was like, okay, I need a little nudge. And that's nice, because if everything was super easy for my brain to figure out, then it would get boring. So I'm certain that there were moments where people were like, that's super easy. And then moments where people were like, holy cheese, it's how did she figure that out? Because yeah, some of these my dad will watch them and he'll point out all the stuff that I missed because it was like super obvious to him. Oh, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you so much for playing our games. It's been a wild ride and we couldn't have made it without your support. We hope you enjoyed playing through the series as much as we enjoyed making it and are looking forward to having you along in the next adventure. From Novasoft Interactive. Well, I did enjoy it. I'm worried if I push OK, it's just going to close out and then it'll have to be like, oh no, panic, screen of doom. So I'll go ahead and close out here, do my final thoughts. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you spending your time here. If you liked watching me play this and want to see other gaming content, I have a Just the Demo series where I play video game demos. Or if you like listening to me talk and you want to hear about my life, opinions, thoughts, things that matter to me, then I have just a Let's Talk series where I talk about those things. And if not, well then I hope you have a positive day and I will see you in the next video. Bye!